His master broke his leg. He didn't scream or beg. He just said, "See, I told you it would break." Around 50 AD in Rome, Epictetus lived as a slave. No freedom, no rights. His master could do whatever he wanted to him. And one day, his master was twisting his leg, probably as punishment. Epictetus warned him calmly, "If you keep doing that, you'll break it." The master kept going. The leg broke, and Epictetus's response wasn't anger or despair. Just a simple observation. "I told you." No emotion. No victim mentality, just acceptance. Because Epictetus understood something most people never learn, that pain isn't your enemy. Your resistance to pain is. Your story about what pain means is. Pain is just a sensation. Suffering is what you add on top of it. And he spent his life teaching people how to stop adding suffering to their pain. How to turn what breaks most people into what makes them stronger. Here's what ruins most people when bad things happen. Not the bad thing itself, but their reaction to it. Something painful occurs, and immediately their mind spirals. Why me? This is unfair. I can't handle this. This shouldn't be happening. My life is ruined. And that mental reaction, that story they tell themselves about the pain, that's what actually destroys them. The pain might be temporary, but the suffering they create around it lasts for years. Epictetus saw this constantly in Rome. People with everything suffering over minor problems, people in similar circumstances, one handling it fine, another completely destroyed. Same situation, different reactions. And he realized the situation wasn't the variable. The person's mind was. Their judgment about the situation. Their story about what it meant. That's what determined whether they suffered or not. He taught something radical, that external events are neutral. They're not good or bad. Your judgment makes them good or bad. You lose money. That's just a change in numbers. But if you judge it as catastrophic, if you make it mean you're worthless or doomed, then you suffer. Not from the loss, from your judgment about the loss. Someone insults you. That's just sound waves. Words, they can't hurt you. But if you judge them as devastating, if you make them mean something terrible about your worth, then you suffer. Not from the words, from your judgment. You get sick. That's just your body experiencing something. But if you judge it as the worst thing possible, if you catastrophize it, if you make it mean your life is over, then you suffer way more than the illness itself causes. Epictetus would say, the thing itself doesn't make you suffer. Your opinion about the thing makes you suffer. And your opinion is something you control. Always. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control what you make it mean. And that control is where your power lives. Think about his own situation. He was a slave. He had no control over his body, his time, his circumstances. But he had complete control over his mind, over his judgments, over his responses. And he used that control to remain free internally even while externally enslaved. His master owned his body, but Epictetus owned his mind. And the mind is what actually matters. When his leg broke, he could have made it mean something terrible, could have descended into victim mentality, could have let it embitter him. But he didn't. He just observed it, accepted it, and moved on. Because he didn't add suffering on top of the pain. He didn't make it mean anything beyond what it was. A broken leg. That's it. No drama, no story, just reality. He taught his students to practice this constantly. When something bad happens, notice your first judgment. Notice the story you start telling yourself. Then question it. Is this judgment helping you? Is it true? Could you see this situation differently? Could you accept it without adding layers of suffering? Most people never do this. Something happens and they automatically react with their habitual judgment. This is terrible. This ruins everything. I can't handle this. And that automatic reaction creates automatic suffering. They never pause, never question, never choose a different response. They just suffer because that's their pattern. But Epictetus is teaching you can break that pattern. You can insert awareness between the event and your reaction. You can choose your judgment instead of being controlled by automatic ones. And when you do that, pain stops leading to suffering. It's just pain, temporary, manageable, not the end of the world. Just something you're experiencing right now. He also taught something powerful about using pain. He said, every difficulty is an opportunity to practice virtue. To practice patience, courage, endurance, acceptance. You can't build these qualities in comfort. You build them in difficulty. So pain isn't just something to endure. It's something to use. It's training. It's making you stronger if you let it. Most people miss this completely. They think pain is just bad. Something to avoid. Something that shouldn't happen to them. But Epictetus saw pain as necessary. As the friction that builds strength. Athletes understand this. You don't build muscle in comfort. You build it through resistance. Through pain. And the same is true for character. You don't build character in easy times. You build it when things hurt. So when pain comes, Epictetus would say, good. Here's a chance to practice, to get stronger, to prove to yourself that you can handle difficulty, to build the internal resources that will serve you for life. Don't waste this opportunity by just complaining about it. There's this story about Epictetus when he was old. A student came to him in distress about some problem, and Epictetus asked him, "Is this in your control?" The student said no. And Epictetus said, "Then why are you upset about it? If you can't control it, accept it and focus on what you can control. Your response, your character, your effort. That's your domain. Everything else is not your problem. That's the key. Stop trying to control what you can't. Stop suffering over things outside your power, and focus completely on what is in your power. Your thoughts, your judgments, your responses, your character. That's your responsibility. That's where your freedom exists. Now, let's make this practical. Because you're probably making yourself suffer right now over things that aren't actually the problem. You're adding layers of judgment and story on top of reality. And that's creating most of your pain. Think about something currently stressing you. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's relationship-based. Whatever it is, notice how much of your suffering is from the situation itself versus your thoughts about it. If you're honest, most of the suffering is mental. It's your worry, your story about what this means for your future. The actual present moment is usually manageable. It's your thoughts about the past or future that make it unbearable. Epictetus would tell you to drop those thoughts. Come back to now. What's the actual problem right now? Not what might happen. Not what happened before. Right now. Usually, right now is okay. Difficult, maybe, but manageable. Or think about past pain. Something that hurt you. How much of that pain are you still carrying because you woe and let go of your judgment about it? Because you keep telling yourself it was unfair, that you're a victim, that it ruined something. Epictetus would say, the event is over. Your judgment about it is still active. And that judgment is what's hurting you now. Drop the judgment. See the event as neutral, as something that happened. And let it be in the past where it belongs. Here's the practice. When pain comes, physical or emotional, try this. First, separate the sensation from your judgment. What do you actually feel? Just the physical sensation or the actual situation? Not what you think about it, just what is. Usually, it's more manageable than your mind made it. Second, question your automatic judgment. You probably immediately thought, this is terrible. But is it? Says who? Could you see it differently? Could this be neutral? Could this even be useful? Not pretending it's good when it's not, but questioning whether it's as bad as your automatic judgment claims. Third, ask what you can control. Can you control that this happened? No. Can you control your response to it? Yes. Can you use this to build something? Yes. Can you practice acceptance? Yes. Focus there. On what you can actually do, not on what you wish was different. Fourth, use it. What virtue can you practice right now? Patience, courage, endurance, acceptance. See this pain as training for those qualities. You're not just enduring, you're building. And that shift changes pain from enemy to teacher. Epictetus lived this completely. He went from slave to one of the most respected philosophers in Rome, not because life got easier, but because he mastered his mind. He learned to control his judgments, to not add suffering to his pain, to use difficulty to build strength, and that internal mastery gave him a freedom his circumstances could never touch. You have that same opportunity. Every time pain comes, you can react automatically and suffer. Or you can practice what Epictetus taught. Separate pain from suffering. Control your judgments. Use difficulty to build character. And over time, you become someone pain can't break. Because you've learned it's not the enemy. It's the resistance training for your soul. The people who get destroyed by pain are those who resist it, who fight it, who make it mean something terrible about their life. But the people who handle pain well, they accept it. They don't add drama to it, they use it, and they come out stronger. Epictetus proved this. From slavery to freedom, from pain to strength, from circumstances that would destroy most people to a philosophy that has helped millions. Not by avoiding pain, by changing his relationship with it, by understanding that pain is neutral and suffering is optional. That choice is available to you right now. Whatever you're going through, you can keep suffering over it, or you can practice what Epictetus taught. Drop the judgment, accept what is, use it to get stronger. Pain will still hurt, but it won't destroy you. And when you come out the other side, you'll be someone new. Someone pain made stronger instead of bitter. That's the real teaching. Pain isn't the enemy. Your resistance to it is. Your story about it is. Change those, and pain becomes just another experience. Difficult, but not devastating. Temporary, but not tragic. And ultimately, useful if you know how to use it. Subscribe for more Stoic strength.